Women in Film Happy Hour. We are women who write for film, television, and media. We believe that no story should go untold, and we want to hear your story. Now, let's join in for today's radio broadcast.
Happy New Year's! Happy New Year's, Galaxy Gospel Radio listeners. It is BWIF. I am Nikol J.
And I'm Joan Montreuil. And we got Nikol in the building.
Yes, we do. Hey. And so, did you have a Happy New Year?
I did. Happy New Year to you guys.
Happy New Year to you and everyone.
We've made it.
We made it.
We've crossed over.
2020, another decade. I can't believe it.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow, I know it's a lot of people out there making some New Year's resolutions, huh?
Yes. Did you make one?
No.
Oh,
I didn't make one. I'll tell you about that later, but did you make one?
I sure did. I made one for the decade, not for the year, because I'm actually,
that.
yes. So some things last year that I made were pretty, I'm still working with those, and I'm still doing those, and they're working out great. But I want to travel to the motherland, Africa.
Oh,
and
so is that why you made it a decade?
I made it a decade because it's realistic. And
That's
it's
right.
reasonable.
That's right. That's right. Because, people, they make these New Year's resolutions, but they don't keep them. And I think so when you plan it and make it realistic, I think that is the better way to accomplish it.
Yes, ma'am.
And so a decade would be good because you can plan it.
I can plan it.
Right.
And I can pace myself.
That's right.
I can save up money.
Ooh.
And I can
pick the places you want to go.
Place and what I want to see.
Where you want to stay.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm excited. I might have to piggyback on that.
Well, just in case you guys are not familiar with New Year's resolution, it started 4,000 years ago. And the Babylonians made a promise to their gods starting at each year. But when the Christians took over, the Christians started praying to their God. And they've actually made promises to ourselves that we'll be better than the last year.
I like that.
And
Self-improvement.
Self-improvement.
So I get it now. With New Year's resolution, it's as if, you're going to promise yourself that you're going to do something.
Yes.
And maybe that's why I haven't made my New Year's resolution this year, is because I felt like I didn't want to put something out there that I wasn't going to be able to accomplish, And so I wanted to take my time and really figure out what is it that I want to, be better about or, accomplish. And so I have a few things, I'm going to make me a vision board this year.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I'm excited. Because I feel, that if you see it and you look at it every day and you're able to focus on it and everything, and you're visualizing it, and every day you're on it, you're trying to achieve it. And I think that's a good push for me.
Absolutely. So regardless of the resolution or the promise you commit to, the goal is to be a better you.
To be a better you.
Or a new you.
And you know what? You got to have faith.
You have to have faith.
It starts with faith.
Yes.
Faith in yourself.
Yes.
To believe that you can accomplish those things. So stay away, from the diets and the the things that are not realistic.
Yes. And then it doesn't always have to be a bad habit that you're trying to break through, but it can also be good habits that you want to make sure you get it right this year or this go around.
Right. And I think I'm going to take that back. I won't say that it's unrealistic that you can't lose weight. I don't want to say that, but I just say that make sure that you make these resolutions of things that you're going to be able to accomplish, because that's the whole purpose of it, is to better yourself. And so, be realistic. If you have to do it, break it down in little groups of doing it, plan to join a gym. And then really go down there on that day and sign up.
Yes, and attend a weekly session.
Write it on your calendar. Use your phone to remind you, whatever it takes, Just make sure that you follow through. And we're going to ride for 2020. We're going to enjoy this.
We're going to enjoy 2020. Did you know that last year, 3 of the most popular New Year's resolutions all had to do with diet and exercise?
Oh, wow.
And then it was saving money. And then it was individuals wanting to know another skill, pick up a different hobby.
Oh, wow.
That was last year's.
Okay. And so that, that kind of ties into Brilliant Women in Film, because I know it's a lot of listeners out there that want to pick up a new skill and like tell their story.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I can see that. So if you ever think about, telling your story and you want to write it down and you want to put it in action and make it happen, go to www.brilliantwomeninfilm.com.
Yes,
We're there to help you.
We're there to help you. So we want you to make sure that you get involved and come out and do a new thing and be a new you. And I didn't tell you this, but don't you know that 80% of those individuals that made those resolutions, they broke them.
Oh,
Came February.
that's a lot.
Mid-February, they were all broken. 80%.
80%.
And guess what? We'll tell you why when we come back after these messages.
I can't wait.
Life is so complicated, and I know I've messed up, going through different situations, just trying to find my own way. I need to find the answers, so now I call on you to show me the right way, the path that leads to you. I made some mistakes, Lord, but I am in need. Won't you please bring me back to you? Just take me by the hand, Lord, and show me the way. Won't you please bring me back to you? See, I know that without you, I could never ever attain that peace and joy your love brings. I need to understand you. Yes, I need you in my life. So please, please bring me back to you. I made some mistakes, Lord, but I am in need. I am in need. Please bring me back to you. Just take me by the hand, Lord, and show me the way. hopeless and broken, alone and abandoned. Can't see my way through my tears. No sign of light in the darkest of night. Can't find my faith on my fears. But a still small voice speaks to me and calms the current of my raging sea. I shall live and not die. I shall live and not die. I shall live and not die. I shall live, live and not die. I shall live. Been here before, hurts even more when the scars that were left cannot heal. I will survive, I'm holding on for dear life, here in the heart of His will. And a still small voice speaks to me and calms the current of my raging sea. So I lift my head and I believe this confession that ensures me victory. I shall live and not die. I shall live and not die. I shall live and not die. I shall live, live and not die. I shall 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 live and not die. I will fear no alarm and escape this unharmed, because I stand here knowing I'm never alone. I just believe that I have what I say, so I'll speak to my life and call forth a new day. I shall live. I shall live and not die. 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 I'll finish strong. 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 I'll finish. I shall live and not die. 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 I shall.
Hello, and we are back, just like we promised.
Just like we promised.
Okay, so we told you guys that we were going to tell you the main reason why 80% do not stay committed to their resolution. And here it is. Drum roll, please. We tend to rely mostly on our willpower and our grit. And while those are important traits, we need more to actually achieve our goals. So planning is key.
Is the key. I knew it. That was the whole focus and the reason why I didn't want to make a New Year's resolution, because I hadn't planned the things that I wanted to be committed to.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people, they forget that not only do you have to plan, but you have to have that motivation.
You have to. Yes.
To really get behind yourself and really do what you said you're going to do.
Yes, and encourage yourself.
Encourage, yes, be encouraged, like that song.
Be encouraged,
Yes,
and be
yes.
realistic.
Be realistic. We talked about that earlier. You have to be realistic.
Yes,
I
yes.
mean, if you know that you're not going to get up, or you're not going to go to the gym every day, or you're not going to work out in your home every day, then don't say that you want to get in shape. That's one of your New Year's resolutions.
Yes.
Because you got to be committed to it. You've got to be realistic.
Absolutely. And then, another good thing is that the circle, the people that are around you, if you can tell them, what you desire to do, they can encourage you too.
That's
and
right.
keep you on track. And
That's
so if
right.
you get off track, hey, wait a minute now, and pull you right back into, into order.
Yes, and I plan to be a lot of that with some of my friends who are planning not to eat much, so I won't be inviting them over for dinner because I want to make sure that they stick to their diet.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to be the cause
Yes.
of it. You know,
Yes.
so I feel like I'll be, helping them
Yes.
achieve their goal.
Yes, and one of the things that have inspired me about you and Nikol is that, when we go to restaurants and we eat out, you guys order the warm water and the lemon. That's something I got to get used to. And they do it each and every time. And I'm like, oh my God, it just feels so bad. Oh my goodness. And so a lot of times we drop our resolutions because we just simply, it's just unexpected. We can't handle it, And so.
And then sometimes we forget, a lot of people forget, that they're supposed to be committed to something, and it's kind of weird that, since you put this out on your plate, that this is something that you want to do, and then you forget to go to the gym, or you forget that you can't eat that piece of cheesecake,
Yes, yeah.
So, and I know it's hard, every year everybody wants to do it. I think New Year's is it's hard because at that point, that's when you're saying, I'm going to do this for the rest of the year, and there's no turning back, right? And so people, I guess they got to think about what they're really choosing or saying that they want to do.
Absolutely. Start short term. Say, hey, I'll do this month, or I'll do this week, or,
That's right.
annually or quarterly.
That's right.
Do it that way. And
That's
so that
right.
way it can be more reasonable
Right.
for you.
And the same thing in filmmaking, when you're planning to get that film out, make sure, you say, hey, okay, so I'm going to write from January to March,
Yes.
Then I'm going to see about places where I can film it, and I'm going to start planning and saving my money so when I'm ready to film it, and then that's how it all starts, it's planning. And so I really agree with that. Wow, that was some good research.
Yes. And let's stay right there in the vein of that. Master Communicator Sharon Jenkins, while
Yes.
we're talking about resolutions, let's talk about writing that book.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Let's talk about sticking
Well,
to
you
it.
know what? You're going to have the right person here to tell you from A to Z how to get that book finished.
Yes.
And the master communicator is in the house. I'm excited to hear what she has to say. And you know what? I have that too. I'm thinking about putting that on my list to write me a book.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So maybe you guys, the master communicator, can help me. I'm definitely going to be tuning in to really listen and focus on some of the things that she has to share. So I'm excited.
Okay, so the next voice you hear will be no other than the master communicator, Sharon Jenkins. So, Nikol, take us away, and we'll be right back.
Thank you.
How many of you know that it was because Jesus loved you that he gave his life for you? How many of you know that it was because of the love of God that he allowed his only son to come that you may have life? How many of you know that it was just because he loved you?
It was just, it was just because you love me. It was just, it was just. It was just
tribulations, my God gave me revelations on how I would gain the victory. No doubt I know that He loves me. On the cross from sin, He set me free to show the world His love. When you're down, feeling low, and there's nowhere else to go. Just let go, call His name, and that's all you need to know. 'Cause there's nobody else who can guide you through. Jesus is all you need. Oh, He's so good. He's so good. Oh, He's so good. God's been good. He's been good. He's so good. Said He's so good. Oh, Jesus is so good to me. When I tell my friends and my neighbors about my God and His love, they want to know more about Him. No more tears, no more heartaches. The love of Jesus is all it takes to heal all the pain inside out. When you're down, there's nowhere else to go. Just let go. Call His name. Call on His name. That's all you need to know. Nobody can guide you through.
Welcome back, audience. Welcome back. So, just as we promised, we are here with BWIF sister Sharon Jenkins, the master communicator. And it won't do me any justice to introduce Sharon to the audience. So I'm going to have her introduce herself. Hi, Sharon.
Hey,
Tell us, who is Miss Sharon? Yes.
intriguing, nice, heartwarming novel on a cold day by the fireplace
Ooh,
with a cup of wine in your hand.
yes.
And you are in your zone. That's who Miss Sharon is.
Yes. All right, Miss Sharon.
But even more so, I have a call on my life to help people write books. And you know how I got this call on my life was my journey in writing a book. And I've experienced a lot of things in this journey, but the most beautiful thing is to see somebody hold their book in their hand for the very first time and see that name across there and just the realization that it is finished. I mean, that is amazing. So I am a dream giver. So if you have the dream of being published, if you have published a book and it didn't quite go the way you wanted it to go, if you want to show up for excellence and be competitive in the industry, you might want to talk to, quote unquote, Ms. Jenkins, the authorpreneur coach. I had to come to the realization that sometimes you can't run from your calling. Yes, I don't care what you face, what obstacles you face. Sometimes I have been faced with the fact that maybe the resources or maybe the quality of the client and all those kind of things, those obstacles that sometimes gets in the way of you being effective in delivering your purpose, those distractions, those discouragements, sometimes they show up. But the real test is in the fact that you are purpose driven, and that not only are you purpose driven, but you are passion driven.
Yes.
So when purpose falls down, passion stands up, And passion says, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do this thing. And for my brothers and sisters in the Lord, I want to tell you the power source, my power source is God. Yes. And because in little old Miss Jenkins, I tell you, little old Miss Jenkins wouldn't have been able to get nothing done. I'm just going to tell you the truth. But I realize in the journeys and the hundreds of authors that I've had the privilege of working with, and I don't say hundreds boasting, I'm saying hundreds because in 10 years, I have touched hundreds of authors, 4 years with a radio show focused on authors. I was on Blog Talk Radio, and then I went to Synergy for a while, and then I actually did Afro Vibes for a while, and so I thought my time on the mic was done in supporting authors that way in the medium. But praise the Lord, I'm over here at Galaxy Gospel and loving it, because I can be my real self.
Yes.
I can be my real self.
Now, Miss Sharon, what gives you that? I know it's God that gives you the motivation, but why authors?
Well, when I was a kid, a little girl, shy, introverted. Can y'all believe that?
Shy.
Shy, introverted. I really didn't have any friends. And so my friends were librarians because they saw me in the library all the time. Junior high school, which was a very difficult period of time for me in life. I was skinny, believe it or not. I was skinny and, kind of slow in developing. And so, I went to a rough high school. There was a fight every day. I mean, middle school, there's a fight every day. All that kind of stuff. For a little shy, introverted girl, that was a little bit much. Yes. But praise the Lord, I had boy cousins. And them boy cousins, and even the one, in the black family, you had cousins you don't even know about. And they was looking out for Miss Jenkins. They told folk, y'all don't touch her. Don't touch her. You know what I mean? But anyway, so I share my story that detailed because I want you to understand it was just me in my room with books for years. Wow. And authors became my superheroes. So librarians, my friends, authors, my superheroes. So for me to get grown and figure out, I can help my superheroes. So every time I make an investment in somebody's life, be it having them on a show or helping them birth their book baby, it's affirming the fact that I'm alive because my purpose started on the foundational truth that I love books. Wow. And I love authors. And librarians were my friends.
Wow, that is an awesome story. That's very inspiring. And I guess that gives you the passion on because you had a event just recently.
Yes.
And you honored the authors. Can you give us a little bit more about that? Well,
the beauty of honoring authors, and actually for years I've been honoring authors. It hasn't quite gone the way that I wanted it to go. Like I did the first Authors Networking Summit. I did Houston Favorite Authors. I've done those kind of things. America's Favorite Author, that kind of things. Growing myself up and trying to get a better understanding of what authors really need. So to my amazement, I started working with CEO Ministry. And in working with them, Joan, I pitched the idea. We're gonna have a booth up Friday. Why wait till Sunday to use them? Let's use them Friday night. So that's how that became a reality. And because of my relationship with BWIF and because of my relationship with authors over the years, we put it together. And actually, what really made real sense was when I was in Detroit at the NAACP convention. They were celebrating authors, and so one of my authors was being celebrated. A shout out to Camille St. Charles, Mississippi, my bad girl. My bad girl from Detroit who released a book, and so I was there with her. And then also I got an opportunity to sit on a panel and talk about literacy and activism, how writers have the keen opportunity to change the face of a nation with their pen. It's more than just making a money
ma'am.
or being a best-selling author.
Yes.
It's about using your pen. In the 60s, in the 50s, in the 70s, folks took those pens and they used them. Maya Angelou, they
Yes.
used those pens
Yes.
to change the face of a nation. Okay. So I hope I answered your question.
Yes,
So
you
the
have.
authors event, the whole purpose was to celebrate authors who have decided that they're going to use their pens for evangelism. And I want to give a shout out to Elaine Jolivet, who was there that evening and, really touched so many lives. And today was her homegoing ceremony.
My.
So, and I say celebration ceremony because when you live a life like she lived a life, then, it was our honor to have her at the author showcase.
Yes.
So I'm sharing all this with you all to let you know that authorship is serious business. And I was sitting in a networking meeting years ago here in Houston. I figured out I came to Houston in 2001.
Okay. And where are you from, Miss Sharon?
I'm from Hampton, Virginia.
Ooh, Virginia
where
in the
Hampton
house.
University is. But now I'm a Texan. I might wear my cowboy hat along to the side, but I'm a Texan. But anyway, so the beauty of helping authors has been, life-giving to me, not life-taking away. So I hope I answered your question.
You have answered the question.
Okay.
Yes. And so, as far as I am concerned, being an aspiring author, I mean, I wrote for the simple reasons that I was just going through a lot of trials and tribulations, and I felt that once God had brought me out of those things, that I would be able to help someone else. So I didn't write with the passion to get money. I didn't write with the passion of to making wealth from it, but just simply telling my story. Now, wealth is good. I welcome it. But I thank God for you because you always kind of push me and say, hey, let's get that book out of there, because I'm so torn into the film industry that, I forget what the author side of me. And tell me, where did you get the name from with entrepreneurship?
Well, entrepreneurship and author, you marry them together, you become an authorpreneur. And I was about to tell you this story, and I got stopped in the middle of the road. So I was sitting in a networking meeting, and they asked all the business owners to stand up, and the authors did not stand up because they don't see themselves as business owners. So this term just dropped in my spirit, authorpreneur. And you talk to Sandy Lawrence will say, well, she's one of the first persons who was talking about authorpreneur. And she's right. Because usually when something's revealed to me, I just share it with the world. So an authorpreneur is somebody who is serious about the business side of writing. You got two sides. You got the writing side and then you got the business side. Well, if you want to make money, you need to be the best entrepreneur you can be. Now, if you have a mission, a passion, a cause,
Yes.
guess what? You need to be the best entrepreneur you need to be.
Absolutely.
Because writing a book is one thing, but writing a book, though, for some, it is a long, drawn-out process. And you know, especially if you're writing your memoir or something like that, you may think that it's hard, but baby, try to market that book. And And that is the thing. You need to grab hold of what you're going to do with that book before you even birth it. So when you come up with the idea to write a book, you need to come up with the marketing plan to sell the book or to get the book in the hands of those who need it. No, if you've been called to write a book to make some money, do that. If you've been called to write a book like you were called out of your story, out of ministry, then do that. But both of those categories, both of those missions require you to make some kind of investment. And it's more than sweat equity. You have to have a little bit of a bank. And I want to say that film and writing are in the same bed. Writing a book and writing a screenplay, to me, it's a natural progression.
Absolutely.
Because there are so many people out there now who are writing books, telling their stories, writing good fiction. And somebody needs to see that stuff on the screen. You know,
Absolutely.
the scandals, the empires. My girl, Camille St. Charles, Mississippi, writes, girl, if we ever got a hold of her book and put it in a screenplay, we going to the Academy Awards.
Wow.
I'm telling you. So I recognize the importance of the marriage of the two, and that's why I felt it was necessary to join BWIF, because creatives are multidimensional. So while your book is selling on one side, you banking the money so that you
Create
can
the film.
do
Yes.
your film.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
you're not relying on nobody. You're not relying on grants. You're not relying on the bank to give you a loan.
Yes.
You created an info product that's generating income for you. And in you doing that, Joan, you can take your passion, your vision, your purpose to the next level.
So wisdom is the principal thing.
Oh, for
and
real.
out of all you're getting, get an understanding.
Yes.
So on that note, we'll be right back with you guys. We are having the time of our lives, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Well, writers. Guess what? We heard you loud and clear. Our community writers room is back in session, and registration is now open. In our virtual writers room, you'll get the opportunity to go over your script with our lead script writers and get direction for the first 25 pages. As always, BWIF is here to help you keep your dream alive, tell your story, and write that script. So register today at brilliantwomeninfilm.com. We look forward to seeing you real soon.
All right, we are back in the building. Thank you, Nikol, for giving us such great music. So, Miss Sharon, tell us, how do one get started?
Well, you got to have an idea. You take that idea and then you create an outline. So what is the mission of your book? What is it that you want your book to do? Be clear about that. Define what that is. Then you think about the vision. Okay, that's where you say, I want to sell 1 million books. Or I want to be on the New York Times bestselling list. Or I want my book to be read by children in Ghana. Or, so whatever your vision is, and don't limit your vision. So if your vision is huge, then that's good. The bigger, the better. Yeah, because that's the fuel that will push you to completion. So after you do that, you need to outline your book. Think about the topics and the subjects that you want to discuss in your book. So a book is usually 8 to 10 chapters. And in those chapters, you're going to speak about certain things. So, for example, if you're writing a memoir, your life story, and you're going to have about 10 chapters, you may want to do a chronological thing. So you may age 1 to 5, 6 to 10. You see where I'm coming from. And then once you figure out what those topics are, you're going to write a paragraph narrative. You're going to write a snapshot of what you want that chapter to do. What is it that you want your reader to leave with in that chapter? So let's say if you're doing the memoir and you're talking about your early days, let's say you're talking about elementary school, identify major life events that took place during that time and put those in that paragraph. For example, I can remember when I was a little kid, and my parents wanted me to walk to school, and they had me walking with an older kid, but he didn't want a little girl tagging along beside him.
Yeah.
So he eventually decided he was not going to walk me to school. Well, one of the things that I've always been is directionally challenged. Well, that's a story that I could put in the book in my elementary days as I was going to school. That was a major life event for me because one day my uncle found me wandering around downtown Hampton, and he said, "School is that way." So I'm sharing that with you. So you think about those things, those key life events for a memoir that you want to share with others. And the best thing to do is to write narratives for each topic. So if I was writing a nonfiction book, and let's say I was writing a nonfiction book about entrepreneurship or authorship, the art of writing a book, I would talk about process in chapter 1. I would talk about what do you do in the beginning. Then in chapter 2, what do you do as you move from the organizing your information stage into actually writing the book, okay? And then last but not least, after I defined what those paragraphs were for each of those topics, then I would start writing chapter 1. And I would decide how many words do I want my book to be or how many pages. So if I want a 100-page book, I'm going to have to write 25,000 words because the average book page is about 250 words. If I want a 200-page book, I multiply that by 2, you see. So 10 chapters divided into the total number of words that I want to do will give me a guideline as to how many words I will need for each chapter. And I can go above, a little bit below, because I'll make it up along the way, but it gives you a plumb line to follow.
Okay, so you hear that, guys, the master communicator. There's another level to this thing. You need to have also some arithmetic in your life in order to get it started. Hey, tell us before we go, we're running out of time, but we can talk to you all day.
Oh, that's cute.
I mean, all day.
That is
Tell us
so
what type of
cute.
services that you offer.
Well, I'm a full service girl. We do book coaching, we do editing, we do interior and exterior design layout, design for your cover, we contract. We are more a project management company. You come to us with an idea and we help you mold it and shape it and make it a reality. And we keep you from going to Bebe and having Bebe design a cover because they're good at art so that you can be competitive on the market. You can self-publish, and you can still self-publish in excellence. And that's what we help you do.
And where can we find you?
You can find me, send me an email, Sharon@mcwritingservices.com. You can find me on social media. The Mac Writing Services, we have a page on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. Just Google Sharon C. Jenkins, because if you don't put the C in there, you'll get everybody else. But Google us.
And every Monday at 10 o'clock, Miss Sharon is live on our Facebook page. Miss Sharon, this has been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. We really appreciate you. We appreciate all the information that you've given us, and now we can take and run with our resolution.
I hope so. I got a lot more to tell you, though.
Okay, well, hey, that's off the air. You guys won't get a chance to hear that. But anyway, Nikol is going to take us into a break, so we'll be right back. Thank you, Miss Sharon, for coming out and spending time with us.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you.
I love God. You don't love God? What's wrong with you? I love God. You don't love God? What's wrong with you? I don't think that I could live no other way. Truth be told, I'm living now on a A. Now I seen them blessings in the modern day. The Lord I serve, He give them to me every day. I'm forgiven, I'm forgiven. See, I done been forgiven, now I'm living. And when I say I love, I mean it. Cause none of this be nothing if He coming, I'm missing, I love God. You don't love God? What's wrong with you? I love God. You don't love God? What's wrong with you?
Love him, I love him. Love him, I love him. Love him, I love him. Love him, I love him, I love him. Love him, I love him, I love him. Love him, love him, love him, love him, love him, love him, I love him.
You ain't got the money moving by yourself. And you know you did it with a lot of air. You know it's only one, it ain't nobody else. You got me talking strong and I ain't rich, I'm talking well. See, I'm forgiving, I'm forgiving. See, I done been forgiven, now I'm living. And when I say I love, I mean it. Cause none of this be nothing if He coming, I'm missing, shout. I love God. You don't love God? What's wrong with you? I love God. You don't love God? What's wrong with you?
Love him, I love him. Love him, I love him. Love him, I love him. Love him, I love him, I love him. Love him, I love him, I love him. Love him, love him, love him, love him, love him, love him, I love him.
Wanted you to fall. You remember I do. You could've lost it all. You remember I do. No one can throw you off. Oh, we got you covered. Protect us from it all. That's what makes me love Him. I don't need a reason to fall on my knees and tell Him how I feel in my heart. And let Him know I love God.
You don't love God? What's wrong with you? I love God. You don't love God? What's wrong with you?
Love him, I love him. Love him, I love him. Love him, I love him. Love him, I love him, I love him. Love him, I love him, I love him. Love him, love him, love him, love him, love him, love him, I love him.
Okay, so a few announcements that we will need to report to you guys. 2020 was a very successful year. We had a lot of things happening. We finished off our Brilliant Women in Film Festival, and we're very happy about that. And we have a whole lot of things that are coming up this year in 2021. January the 16th, we'll be back in our writers' room with our writers. Thank God for that. So we just finished the pilot. Pray for us as we pitch the pilot to networks, guys. We love you guys, and we know that you're hoping for the best for us. So we just ask that you would pray for us. We have a Director's Delight class that will be happening on January 30th. We'll be having a Director of Photography class in February. And then BWIF will have their photo shoot in February. And we've been looking forward to that. You know, with COVID and all, we can't really get together like that. But we have been doing online workshops virtually. So that's been good for us. And then on March 7th, we celebrate Brilliant Women in Film Day. So we are very excited about that. And then in March, we plan on going on a retreat. So that's enough for today. So
Wow, this has been an amazing show. I'm just so excited for all the things that Brilliant Women in Film are doing. And I just want to thank you, Nikol, for joining Joan and I. And we just had a great time. Great time. And I just want to thank the audience, for tuning in. And remember, you can check us out on brilliantwomeninfilm.com. and see what we're doing, see what we're up to. We have a lot of different things that we've been doing that we're sharing on our page. So go check us out. And, you know, it looks like this is a wrap. And keep hope alive. That's all I can say at this point. We enjoyed you, and Happy New Year.
And thank you for joining us.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Brilliant Women in Film. This radio program has been brought to you by our faithful sponsors. Check us out at brilliantwomeninfilm.com.